All right, welcome to another video by Rideshare Dashboard. So today I'm talking with Eric from Driving as a Drag. I've seen him do some really crazy stuff with rideshare. You know, there's a lot of people trying to do their own side business, trying to do their own personalities. We definitely seen quite a few of those with Lyft, Disco Lyft, and a bunch of other personalities out in California. And well, here's definitely another bright personality with Eric here. He's been doing this for quite a while, so I'm just hoping to get a little bit more information from him about what he does with driving as a drag. And then also he had a really great and productive trip up to San Francisco. He met up with John Zimmer at Lyft at their own headquarters about a week ago or so, right, Eric?
Yeah, it was on the 29th.
Okay, January 29th.
Yeah, it was like a week and a half ago.
So I'm hoping to get a couple of more details from that because it seems like he had a really productive meeting with John. But Eric, let's just start with a little bit more about you. So I guess when did you start driving for Lyft and when did you come up with this idea?
So I finally got approved by Lyft late July of last year. And at the time, I was experimenting with cross-dressing and sort of finally feeling comfortable in my own skin for the first time in my life, coming out as bisexual last June. And I really gravitated towards cross-dressing because I felt like it was one of the most fun, creative, and liberating things that I could possibly do. And because I come from a digital marketing background, I've worked in the entertainment business for the last 15 years, doing digital marketing for bands and music festivals and YouTube videos and things like that, running social media campaigns, street team campaigns, PR, website design, all that good digital stuff. I had taken a break from the music business after shutting down my company earlier last year, and I needed to sort of brush up on my social media skills, so I created this alter ego named Erika Simone, which is my drag queen alter ego, and I created a Facebook page, and I just started to, add people in the scene, whether they're a cross-dresser, transgender, or a drag queen. I got a selfie with George Takei, and all of a sudden my Facebook likes really started to grow rapidly. And when I took the job with Lyft, I did some research on the company, and I read that there are a couple hundred theme drivers around the country, and I read about Disco Lyft and Hip Hop Lyft and Karaoke Lyft, all on CNN. And I was like, wow, that is one of the coolest, most creative, liberating ideas I could think of, to basically build your own personality and business on top of their business, essentially. And I don't know where it was, but I was driving one day and I had this epiphany. What if my alter ego showed up and picked people up? And I never told anyone that I was actually showing up because when people open up Uber or Lyft, they see a picture of a normal-looking guy in the app. And what happens is that I say I've arrived, the person comes out of their apartment or wherever they are, and they see a girl sitting in a car. And 95% of the time, they walk right by my car every single time because they think that that car is for somebody else. They think like, oh, that's a specialty party service, or that must be a mistake, and they're looking at the app all confused. And at that point, when I see people looking completely bewildered, I hop out of the car and I say, hey, babe, heard you needed a lift. And people lose their minds. I've had people drop all of their shopping bags all over the floor. I've had people come up and hug me. I've had the funniest reactions you could ever possibly imagine. I mean, it's almost like a Borat kind of situation where it's really uncomfortable and you never know what's going to quite happen, but it ends up being this hilarious situation. Or something out of Curb Your Enthusiasm. Both, two things that I'm really, really into is that kind of humor. And, the first week that I went out driving, because, there have been, unfortunately, plenty of hate crimes against transgender people. And while that's improving across the country, I was really scared the first week I went out there. I didn't know if I was going to get harassed, laughed at, beaten up, or worse. And so I went out with another friend of mine just to make sure that it was going to be safe. And I drove around West Hollywood and Santa Monica, Venice Beach, and the areas in LA where I felt like it was going to be the most progressive and open-minded to something like that. And the reaction was through the roof. Everyone loved it. 5-star reviews, incredible comments. And one thing that people love doing is I have my camera mounted in my car right in the center of the dash, and I have people put on, these funny little headgear, put on pink necklaces, hold up teddy bears, and my car has basically become this like gigantic selfie machine. And people share all that stuff on social media, and as a result, my online footprint has really grown a lot. I mean, I think I'm reaching upwards to like 8,000 people with all my social media accounts now, which is pretty freaking awesome. And as I continued to drive and this thing became really popular very quickly, I was thinking to myself, these situations are so funny. This belongs in a bigger medium than just me picking up people with a wig on. This is absolutely a gag for Ellen DeGeneres. This is absolutely a reality TV show on Bravo. This is absolutely a safe ride solution for the gay and lesbian audience, for the gay and lesbian community here in LA and around the country. There are LGBT youth that are afraid to take Ubers. There are women that are afraid to get in an Uber or another taxi because they don't want to be harassed by the driver. Definitely the transgender community doesn't want to get out of their house sometimes because they're so afraid that they're not going to be accepted. And I want to be able to provide a solution, and that's actually been what's happening. My name definitely made the rounds in the drag queen and cross-dressing community, and I've been taking people that like to dress up down to Hamburger Mary's in Long Beach, to the Abbey in West Hollywood, to Mickey's, or wherever they want to go. And it's a really fun and safe way for people to get around LA. The best thing that I've taken from my 6 months on the road, today marks my 6-month anniversary of going out as Erika Simone for the very first time, which is pretty cool. And what I've taken away from this whole experience so far is that, especially in a city like LA where everyone's driven to succeed, everyone's stuck in hours of traffic every day, people have stressful jobs, it's insanely expensive to live in this city, and I've picked up people that I could tell were having the worst day of their month or year or whatever, and they keep saying to me, I was having the worst day until you picked me up, and now I've got the biggest smile on my face. So if I can bring a smile to people's face and they can enjoy their ride from point A to point B or multiple points during the day, then, I've done my job. And the most exciting thing that's happening right now is this week I did a 90-minute interview with the LA Weekly, which goes out to the entire entertainment business in LA, probably 500,000 circulation or more, I think 260,000 followers on Facebook, and their website probably gets millions of hits per month. In terms of major national press, I couldn't ask for a better opportunity. The reporter loved me, called me a genius several times, and I'm waiting for a video editor to get back to me because they want to follow me around while I pick up passengers and get all the reactions and get great web content along with print content. So I've sent them all of my professional shots, and the reporter is gunning for a big print feature along with the web feature. So that'll be coming out before the end of the month, which I'm really, really excited about.
So before the end of February?
Yeah, before the end of the month. Like probably February 23rd, because the deadline on the article is the 17th.
Right.
So, the great thing about this is that once you get that first piece of great press, you could take that press and get a lot more press. And, in terms of my longer-term goals, getting a gag on Ellen DeGeneres or, taking the business to the next level, I think this is certainly going to help with that. Another thing that's happening this month is I'm launching a $35,000 Kickstarter campaign to create a 22-minute pilot. And this is going to be professionally shot. I'm going to get all the different situations that I've had as a driver. I'm going to take people on a Tinder date. I'm going to drop people off at Hamburger Mary's. I'm going to show people how I get a makeover. I'm going to show people, the different outfits that I have and wigs and things like that. A tour of my car, background on driving as a drag, and all the different funny types of scenarios that can happen as I'm out there driving around. And with that 22-minute pilot, that's going to be my biggest selling point, whether I approach Bravo or MTV or any other major networks, I think that's going to really help. Hopefully, crossing my fingers, seal the deal. I really want to thank Lyft and Uber for being incredible ways for me to get in front of people. Longer term goals, I'd love to see if I could franchise this business as a standalone specialty rideshare business and party bus business. For example, I'd love to be able to take a bus full of bachelorettes to Palm Springs for a weekend for, a couple grand or whatever it is. And I believe that you could have drag queens in every major city in America doing this, offering a safe ride solution, a fun party bus situation, a safe, ride share, all that stuff. I think that I think the time is right. Transparent, won a bunch of awards. RuPaul's Drag Race is one of the highest rated reality television shows, and rideshare has never been more popular. I mean, you look at Uber; they're a $41 billion company. I think that says it all, And I basically took two things that were pretty popular and somehow put them together.
Yeah, no, I wanted to ask if you were like gonna reach out to any drivers, at least in San Diego. They're so close. Do you know any other drag queens or cross dressers down in San Diego, like that are Lyft drivers or Uber drivers?
Yeah, I don't know any that are drivers per se, but I've had plenty of people in the scene reach out to me. They're like, when you're ready to franchise, I want to work for you. So I don't think finding drivers is going to be too hard. This is something that people definitely want to do.
Cool. All right. Well, you seem to answer almost all of my questions. I had a couple about, you trying to franchise and or what the public perception was in general about what you do. I was pretty concerned about that as well. It seems like you answered all of those.